How do you find great people for you to work with? Well, one of the things that's important is to realize who's a great fit for you to work with is going to be unique compared to anybody else. Just because someone is skilled in their area, just because they're knowledgeable, just because they're connected, doesn't mean that you and they are going to see eye to eye in terms of how you riff off of each other. So basically, my suggestion is going to be universally find a way to test drive interacting in some much more small, contained, low pressure way. Before you're trying to put a lot of hope onto, we need to see a return on this better work out, other people's work as writing on this, it's nice to just take something low key. Do a video together, right? Do a supply to be on a panel together. Figure out how, when you have disagreements about stuff, when you don't see eye to eye on things, how you talk about those things. Now, one of the best things you can do, obviously, is if you can test drive in something that's a reasonable simulation for what you'd actually be doing together. Of course, since I'm often talking to game developers, my main suggestion for this would be, surprise, DevPods GG. This is something where people have a chance to work together on something that is low-key, freeware, no one's stuck on the same teams, everyone can kind of freely bounce around. But it's something where from my past 20 years of running groups in these kind of formats, some of the best success stories we've seen aren't where there's a game that started and that game went off and did well. What usually winds up happening is people found each other through these communities and then realized that they work together well. Then those people go off together, they might kickstart a thing, they might start a little VR studio, a couple of examples that have happened in our history for their different groups. But it's a sort of thing where it's a chance to figure out who do I get along with, who their way of thinking about programming really fits with my approach to level design. My approach to level design really works with how this environment artist works, the pace, the scale, the fidelity, the quality, the style. And again, it's not just good or bad, it's so much about fit. A little bit like dating life. It's not about good and bad, it's about who is a good match. And so what I like about our format, and part of why DevPod is shaped the way it is, so people can experiment, can try out working with a lot of different people in a short period of time on a variety of projects to be able to get kind of a 360 effect of who do I really get along and collaborate well with. Same sort of thing I've seen from networking scene. And so for a lot of years, I've been part of Game Industry Gathering or GIG. And that's a community where for people in industry, it's shuffling who's in breakout rooms. And what is great is about you can kind of, for networking reasons, triangulate. It wasn't just about one particular topic. It was a chance to have different conversations with the same sum of people overlapping in different mixes. And we see the same kind of dynamic in DevPods in terms of a chance to really network at a deeper level, where we're not just talking to each other, we're really trying out, kind of test driving, how do we get along, what comes out when we work together, do we feel proud about it, do we feel good about it, do we feel like we're not exhausted from the exercise of collaborating. Maybe we did great work, but it would just wear me out to work with that person more long term. It's one of the ways where some of the people we've seen are, out of our current groups, which again, originally were home team before they became DevPods, some people's first paid gig was where someone else who'd worked with them in our communities figured out like, oh, well, now I'm doing an outside iPhone game. I'm doing some outside commercial thing, and I'm looking to hire someone to do our music. I'm looking to hire someone to do some of our art. I'm looking to hire someone to do a bit of our programming. And some of those first gigs came out of people who first worked together in this kind of environment and then felt out that, yeah, that's a person who I know what I'm getting into. I'm not taking a huge risk. I remember when I was newer to making commercial games, this probably would have been back around 2009 or so. We were doing a game and it was going through a publisher up in New York City. And I would go to meetups. I would just find some person who was a programmer for a certain type of programming. I'd pay them to get on board, try some stuff, and find out that just wasn't working out good. That programmer and I, their approach, their pace, the things they would do or not do, their communication style were just not a good match. And then realizing from that, okay, well, I'm out the money because I already paid for that work that I wasn't happy with. It's a way to lower that danger, to lower that risk. That again, it's not about that was a bad person. It's about, is this a fit? And something like DevPods gives you a great way to try that out on a flexible, longer term schedule. Where again, even if you try, for example, you could use game jams to this purpose. I know some people have in the past. That weekend may not be a good reflection of how they really are going to be with on a longer term project, which DevPods as 2 to 6 month games is going to help you simulate better. That's it for the day. Just want to share this strategy. Of course, you can apply this outside of DevPods, but I think DevPods is a great environment to do it if you're looking to do game development. Look for ways to test drive doing some lightweight stuff with people. It's one of the reasons why over the years I've done panels on YouTube. I've done guest speaking on podcasts and had people on my podcast or other kind of arrangements. Look for something small to work on together, feel out. Is this something you want to take up a notch? And if not, well, you don't feel bad about this. It was still a worthwhile, valuable thing we did, put out there in the world. Felt good about learning and doing together. That's it for the day. Catch you another time. Hope you'll join us in DevPods. Catch you next time. Bye for now.